Welcome to DMCP 365 and our Disciple Making University. This is course 101. We call it our Foundation series, and this video is about the layout of the course. Okay, the specific layout of the course, and you're going to see just a minute why that's important that you understand the layout of the course. And that is the objective of this video, is that you would understand the layout of the course. And so here is the course layout. So how is it that we can take passing on to you, you're creating your own personal disciple making strategy using the 7 W's in a way that is done within our training model, our training philosophy? And the answer to that question is in how the course is laid out. So that's why it's important that you understand how the course is laid out, because it's laid out so that you will get the most out of this course. So it's laid out, it starts with chapters. So you can think of chapters as the big picture topic. And then the topic may be a bigger picture, and so to make that more bite-sized, to get it down into bite-sized chunks, we have within each chapter modules. Some people may call them lessons, I like to call them modules. I think that's a better description of their purpose. And so within the modules, there will be a series of things that are done within the module. So within each chapter, especially for the 7 W chapters, when you're going through each of the W's, you're going to have an intro module, which introduces the topic. Then you're going to have a demo module, which will be me demonstrating it and then you doing it along with me. And then you'll have a recap module, which will then go back and go over the key points that we talked about in the intro and that you saw in the demonstration. Remember, because repetition is one of our training models, one of our training philosophies to drive points home. Also within each module, you will have, in the notes for that module, you will have scripture references if there are any. You will have any downloads that you may want to download. They would be available in that module. And also you will have the action steps listed for that module if there are any. For many, the individual modules will not have action steps, but the last module in a chapter will have the action steps for that entire chapter. Why have I listed action steps over here separately? Because action steps are the engine that drive our training, that drive getting you the most bang for your buck out of this video series, so to speak. So within the action steps, you will be asked to practice what you just learned several times so that you can get it down. You will then be asked to, once you have practiced it, to teach others what you've learned so you can get it down even better, because remember, 75% of what you do you remember long term, but 90% of what you teach you remember long term. So that's why it's important to do not just the doing yourself through the practice, but also the teaching. Also, within the action steps, you will be asked to write down in your notebook that you got just for this course, you will be asked to write down 1 to 2 key things that God showed you during that time, whatever time period this 1 to 2 questions, this 1 to 2 key points is covering. And then finally, for many of the modules or for many of the chapters, depending on which one it is, you will be asked a challenge question. And this is a question that I want you to spend some time thinking about, honestly thinking about, and being honest when you write down your answers in your notebook. Because the purpose of this challenge question is to help you develop that disciple maker mindset we talked about. That's the purpose of this challenge question. Remember, there's no fluff in this, no fluff. Every one of these things that you're asked to do in the action steps is done for a specific purpose. It's not just to have something for you to do. It's done to drive home what it is that we're wanting you to develop and what you're wanting to develop as you go through this series. So how should you go through the course material? Go through it in order. It is laid out in order for a specific purpose based on our model so that you will get the most out of it. Don't skip around. Go through it in the order that is required. Okay? And how fast should you go through this? Well, it depends on the action steps. There is really no limitation to how fast you go through this course. The only limitation, and I want to stress this, the only limitation on how fast you go through the course is you must complete the action steps of the video of the module you just completed, of the video you watched and the module that you're working on. You must complete those action steps before you go to the next module. That's the only limitation on how fast you go through it. Because what's going to happen if you don't get that habit and that routine and that discipline down is you're going to go through a bunch of videos. You're not going to remember much because you've only watched it. Maybe you saw me demonstrate it. And you're going to get to the end of this and you're going to say, this hasn't helped me in making disciples at all. I'm not more confident. I'm not more effective. And the reason is because you didn't have the discipline to do the action steps after each module. So do those action steps. And when you get to the next module, I'm going to ask you if you did the action steps from the previous module. So we're going to try to hold you accountable also. All right, tests and quizzes. There are no tests and quizzes. The tests and quizzes are, did you do the action steps and are you living this out in your daily life? No answering of a few questions is going to make you a better disciple maker. You're either committed to do the work, which is the action steps, or you're not. It's really up to you. What you get out of this video series is really up to you. If you put in the work, I promise you this will change your life and make you a confident and effective disciple maker. If you don't want to put in the work, you're just going to gain a lot more knowledge, but it's not going to change your life and it's not going to make you a confident and effective disciple maker. So action steps. We do have action steps for this video. And the action steps for this one are, get your materials together that you need. Remember the 4 things you need? Okay? You need two pieces of blank paper, 2 blank pieces of paper. You need a notebook specifically only for this course. And like I said, go to the Dollar General store. You can get one for $1. Okay? Plus whatever the tax is where you live. You also need a writing utensil. And you need a Bible, whether that be a digital version or a hard copy version, whatever you like best. The next thing you need is you need to make the commitment. Make the commitment to go through this course, which you've already started. If you've gotten to this video, you've already started doing that. Congratulations. Make the commitment to finish this video and make that commitment firm by scheduling it. Schedule when you're going to watch the next video and schedule when you're going to be done with this entire course. Go ahead, put that in your calendar. That's an action step. And finally, you need to answer the questions, okay? In the documentation for this module, there are some questions that I want you to answer. Very easy to answer, but just go through those questions. So when you have completed all of the action steps, when you have completed all, I stress all of the action steps, I will see you on the next video.